Hey guys, time to talk about the new season of The Vampire Diaries. This was one of the shows that I was so excited to see come back, especially with the way things ended in season 5. It was kind of dramatic and kind of sad and kind of crazy. And so I cannot wait to see what we are in store for this season. First of all, let's talk about the beginning of the episode, right? You got the two kids making out in the tent in the dark, and then all of a sudden they hear a noise and one of them goes out to investigate. Now the interesting part about this is that the guy sends his girlfriend out to investigate instead of going out with her or going out himself. So ladies, a word of advice. Any man who will send you out by yourself in the dark to investigate a strange noise is not the man for you. Although I did think it was kind of funny because it is usually the guy that goes out and gets killed. And I love how he told her, like, you go see what it was. Like, I'm not going out there. I think one of the things I was most excited about in this episode is that Alaric is back. I am so excited to have him kind of back with the rest of our favorite characters from Mystic Falls. He's obviously been gone, aka dead, for a couple of seasons. So it's kind of fantastic to have him back. Now, of course, if we remember from the end of last season, things are a little kind of off kilter. Because of what the Travelers did last season, the kids can't actually get back into Mystic Falls because like no magic or something like that can cross the town line. So that means no vampires, etc. can actually live in Mystic Falls anymore. Now, while this is sad for some of our favorite characters, I mean, if you live in Mystic Falls, you gotta be excited that all of a sudden it's like, wow, people aren't getting killed anymore. This is kind of awesome. I think one of the big takeaways from this episode is that we get that everybody that survived, you know, we get that Damon and Bonnie are gone, supposedly, but everyone else that has survived and who mourns them, they're all kind of mourning in different ways and they're all kind of apart. We get that them mourning has had a huge impact on all of their relationships. Each one of them is definitely still not in a great place. I mean, we see Jeremy mourning Bonnie. We see Elena. Let's talk about that for a minute. Now, you guys, I had to like remind myself, right, that Elena has been through a lot. So I'm gonna give her a little bit of leeway because of that, because obviously we get that Elena has really mourned a lot of people. If we think about all of the people that Elena has loved in this show who have died, that's a lot of people. So I get it. I get that Elena has been through a lot with the mourning, and so she's struggling to let go of Damon. And because of that, right, she's taken some weirdo like witchy herb powder and she's drinking it. And it's basically letting her hallucinate so she can see Damon. So she hallucinates when she takes this witchy herb powder and she has these conversations with him. The problem is that she's been taking it quite a lot. And so what starts to happen is we start to see some of the effects of that. She starts to drink a lot more blood than usual. She starts to be really, really hungry. And she starts to do random things like, you know, attack people on the side of the road so she can drink their blood. And she's basically like almost killing people. We pretty much get that she hasn't dealt with the fact that Damon is gone at all. And Elena, you guys, I don't know what it is about her character. There are times when I really love her and I just feel like really behind her. And there are other times when she just drives me absolutely insane. And I'm gonna have to say that this was one of those times. This was one of those episodes where I was seriously just like, if this child cries one more time, I'm going to throw something at my television. And that's when I had to remind myself, remember all of the stuff that Elena's been through? Cut her some slack. I think the point of this episode was to show that Elena has done nothing when it comes to mourning at all. So it's pretty much like Damon and Bonnie just died yesterday because she hasn't dealt with any of it at all. Two things that I want to talk about. One, the ending. I thought it was really interesting that Elena basically goes to Alaric and asks him to compel her to forget Damon. And I really wonder if he's gonna do that. I mean, it's an interesting twist that I had never ever thought of. We pretty much get that only original vampires have the power to compel other vampires. And so since Rick was kind of created in that same vein, he can do it too. And so yeah, there's a part of me that really kind of wants him to do it. And wouldn't that be cool? Because we get that Bonnie and Damon are gonna come back eventually, right? Am I the only one who sees that? I mean, we all get that, right? And I think it would be kind of a cool twist if when they did come back, she was kind of like, who the hell are you? Now let's talk about Stefan for a hot second. He's off in the woods somewhere. I don't know what he's doing, fixing cars and living in a cool cabin and hanging out with some girl. And I think he's just really trying to avoid everything. He has this phone call with Elena where he basically is just like, I've dealt with it. I've let it go. You need to do the same thing. And then he kind of hangs up on her, like in the middle of her desperation. We just get that Stefan just doesn't want to deal with it. And I find it very interesting that he is not answering Caroline's phone calls at all. And I think that's because Caroline is kind of like his conscience to some degree, you know? She's taken the role of Lexi on, and she really is that voice of kind of reason in his life. And so he doesn't want to hear it. And so he lets her calls go to voicemail. Now let's talk about the last 2 minutes, you guys. Let's talk about Bamon, for all you Bamon fans out there. I think I started thinking about the whole Bamon thing, or the possibility of Bamon, when I saw the poster for this season of TVD. Have we all seen the poster? The poster for the season of TVD usually has a lot of hints and, I don't know, like clues about what's coming or about the state of where we're at. And in the poster for season 6, I mean, we see Damon and Bonnie, and they are close to each other. I think she's holding on to him, and you just get that they're kind of almost protecting each other. And even just the proximity of the two of them, I think it's just supposed to show us that whatever these two have been doing, it has brought them close together. So at the very end of the episode, we see the two of them in this very kind of like domestic scene. He made her like little vampire pancakes, and then we get this little like banter back and forth between the two of them. And yeah, you guys, I'm not exactly sure what's going on, because it really just seemed like they were just in another town living in a cabin somewhere. And obviously we didn't get very many answers about where they're at or where they've been. And I am very, very curious to find out. But yeah, I think once I saw the poster, I started thinking about the possibility of Bamon and the fact that, okay, Damon and Bonnie, wherever they're at, they're kind of two people who don't really get along, but wouldn't it be really cool to kind of see that relationship develop into something else? I just think it would be a really interesting kind of twist to see that happen, and then to see the two of them return to Mystic Falls, and to see kind of what the aftermath of that. Because obviously when they come back, and they will eventually, he'll have Elena waiting for him, and she'll have Jeremy waiting for her. And what would happen if the two of them had kind of developed this close relationship while they were gone? I think that would just kind of bring all kinds of good juiciness to the Vampire Diaries, so fingers crossed that that's gonna happen. I guess we gotta talk about Tyler, because he's still on this show for some reason. Oh God. Actually, I need to be nice to Tyler, because he wasn't too bad in this episode. We pretty much get that because of what the Travelers did. Tyler's just a normal boy now, you know? He's not a werewolf anymore. He's not a hybrid. So basically, if he learns to control his anger, then he won't reenact the curse, and he'll just be human for the rest of his life. Now that seems like no fun, and based on his anger levels in this episode, I'm thinking that human Tyler probably will not last very long. So overall, I thought it was a good first episode of the season. I am excited to see what comes. I've got tons of questions, which is always good for a season opener. And there's no telling where this show is going. I mean, that is one thing about the Vampire Diaries. Who knows where we will be in 10 episodes? I mean, it will probably be someplace crazy, and I will be very excited to go there. Okay, you guys, can't wait to hear what you guys thought about the season 6 premiere. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.